Santa Cruz. We are your new podcast. Go ahead and tell me.
And we're so excited to introduce and share interviews and stories that inspire, guide, heal, and entertain.
We are Susan Douglas and Denise Lane.
Today, oh, do we have a cozy, clever, and totally captivating circle to share with you. We're pulling up chairs with a group of brilliant, book-loving women who all belong to the same book club as Denise and I. And it's right here in Santa Cruz. But don't be fooled. This isn't just about reading chapters and sipping Chardonnay, espresso, water or kombucha. These women bring the wisdom of different lives, different cities, and wildly different opinions about what makes a good read or a truly terrible one. So we're going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
Yes, welcome, Book Club sisters. We are so delighted to have you here today.
Okay, so let's go ahead with Sue. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Susan Vignair. I'm originally from New Jersey, and I'm happily here in Santa Cruz for 16 years now.
And the next one up is...
Hi, I'm Paula Alder, and I've lived in Santa Cruz for 50 years, but I'm originally from Los Angeles.
Great, thank you. And on to the next. They're not all here today, by the way. We have 5.
Hi, I'm Teresa Solzberg. I've lived in Felton, California for 20 years, and I'm originally from Rock Island, Illinois.
There you go.
And I am Sarah Lee Smith. I live in Los Gatos. I've been there 20 years and originally from Oakland.
Okay, thank you. And the last one.
Hello, I'm Jill Shontag. I've lived in Santa Cruz for 20 years now, and I'm also from Oakland, California.
Okay, that's great. And Denise is there, and I'm here, and you hear our voices more often.
Yes.
So anyway, let's get cracking, shall we, on the questions. So for a lightning round, what are you reading right now? Does anybody want to tell us?
I'm reading a book called The Briar Club.
Uh-huh.
Have any of you heard of it?
No.
No. Look at that mischievous look on your face.
It popped up in my Kindle Unlimited, which I love Kindle Unlimited. You can just grab a book one after the next. And it is about a home, like a home where, if in the 50s, it's set in the 50s, and it's about a home for single women in the 50s, and it begins with a murder, and then it turns into there's a gangsters involved, and then all the women and all their antics, and it talks about all their different points of view, and it's really interesting. I'm only halfway through, so I can't tell you. I wouldn't tell you what happens anyway.
Okay, so this was Teresa telling us about her book. Would you recommend it as a book for the beach?
Yeah, it's kind of a light summer read, but I can tell there's going to be some interesting things going on and deeper things too, because it's got the boy that lives there and the girl, and then the mom's and the dad's gone, and it's got some family stuff, and it's interesting.
Okay, sounds good. And Sue, you've got something to say about this.
My current read is The Let Them Theory. There's a lot of talk going around about this book, which is what spurred me to read it. It's a self-help, self-improvement book with a very simple premise that you can deal with all situations that arise in your life, whether it be issues on the job, issues with your team, problems with your husband, by just using the mantra, let them, followed by let me. So it's a matter of allowing things to happen as they do and accept it and not judge it and not try to change it or control it, and further to let me, so that you become active in trying to improve the situation, but without forcing anyone to do something that they're not going to do, because most of us don't want to be controlled.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the truth of it, isn't it? We don't. We actually don't. Yeah, so what we do with this book club is we choose a book every month when we meet, And what is the book with this month? Because I'm going to go away and I haven't registered it. Has anybody got
Called
the title?
The Stolen Queen.
The Stolen Queen. Okay. All right. So, yes, Paula, you've got something to say.
Well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about our last read because it stimulated me to read the next 4 books. So our last read was the Thursday Murder Club.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Which is
Yeah.
going to be in
Netflix.
coming out
Yeah.
in Netflix. And I was so hooked by it because of the age group and the humor, and I considered it really well written. And as soon as I read it, I knew I wanted to read the other ones that he's done.
That's
and
Richard Osborne, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's, I think it's Osmond.
Oh, Osmond.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
He has written 4 so far, and I think is finishing the 5th one in that series. But then there's a new one that's, I guess, the start of a new series, and I'm on that one. So
Okay.
it's the 5th book. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the show on Netflix too.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know, the characters are going to be played by
Yeah,
some
I
really
would have-
high-profile actors, and you know, like Helen Mirren, for instance.
Yeah, I would have never read a book like that if our book club hadn't come up with it.
Right.
Yeah, in fact,
'cause-
Susan, I think you recommended it. And
Yeah, I
it's just
did.
pure entertainment.
Well, the reason
Yeah.
I recommended it was because I knew Steven Spielberg was making the Netflix movie. So I thought, well, if he's into the story, it's got to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So let's move on. Let's say how the book club came to be, shall we? Does anybody know the background of how the book club started? Because I wasn't here.
Well, I can tell you a little bit about how it started. So the name of our book club is called Reading Between the Wines. Hence, we have fun. And it's been a year. So last June was the first meeting. And we have not had one person leave our book club. It is exhilarating.
Right. And this is Sarah describing it. And Sarah's kind of heads it up, don't you, really?
Sarah started it.
Yeah,
We're all facilitators.
Sarah's our fearless leader.
indeed. So what was the very first book that you read together? Can anybody remember?
Yeah, Love and Saffron.
Love and Saffron, that was it.
And nobody liked it.
Right.
And I picked it.
Well, sometimes we can't always win every single title, you know what I mean? That's why it would be good today if we get some introductions to some beach reads for anybody listening, you know, and we already got 2. So, well, no, 3, because we're mentioning Richard Osman and all his books, right? Yeah. So on we go. So what was the very first time that it registered with you that this was becoming a union for everyone to be together and to be able to express themselves apart from talk about books? Can anybody answer that?
Yeah, we do get together before we talk about the book, and sometimes someone has to get us onto the book because we're having such a great social time.
Right. Well, and coming from Los Gatos, this group is so phenomenal that it's so easy to make that trek. But I would say it just feels safe. You know, it's a group, and because we also get together outside of the book club, it just feels like a safe place. So even if you are disagreeing with someone's opinion, it's okay. And there's always laughter, lots of laughter.
Yeah.
Indeed, there is. Always. Yes, Jill.
That's really what I love about this book club is people are very candid. Like we said, even from the first book, people could say, I didn't like it.
Right.
So it really is a place where you feel like you can be yourself and show up as yourself. And that's really unique in a group of women.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
I
is,
really
actually.
value that
Yeah.
you can really say exactly what you feel about each read.
Yes, go ahead. This is Teresa.
Yeah, this is Teresa. I think what's amazing though too is that the precedent is that we take turns facilitating the book, and that each person decides on the book, and we vote on which book, and then that person decides on the questions, and that we actually focus on the book each time. Because I've been to book clubs where people don't really talk about the book. So that's the opposite, right?
Right.
And it's frustrating. And then I've had other people say, well, it's not really a book club. People just kind of get together and kind of chit chat. So I think that's what's great too, is that there's that social time and that connection, but then we take the book seriously too, and the discussions that I've been in have been really amazing and deep and meaningful. So I think that that's what's amazing about it too, because that's what helps us connect as well.
That's right. And Sue, you've got something to say about this
Yeah.
too.
I agree with you, Teresa. I've had the same experience with book clubs where most of us will have read the book, but those few that didn't will sabotage the conversation and bring it, off topic to something totally unrelated. So this is what I love about our book group, is that we do have our little personal discussions beforehand, get that out of the way, and then we get to the heart of the book. And one of the things I really love is that I've been able to know each of you and the other members a little better, because discussions will come out from the book, some experience that happened in the book that we can relate to, and we each come to it with our own different life experiences, and we can talk about the events of the book. And I've learned a little bit more about each of you, a little personal, intimate glimpse into your lives that I wouldn't have otherwise have known. It wouldn't have come up in regular conversation, but the book brought it out.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So
Yeah.
do you think this has changed the way you think in any way? Has any kind of conversation made you change your mind about something that you thought differently about?
Yeah, I'm thinking of a few examples. I'm actually, I joined a little bit later, but even the books I've been in discussion around, one is The Measure. I know I say that in a Midwestern accent. My husband makes fun of me. The Measure. If any of you have read that, that gets into topics around death and the measure of a life. And that was really an intense conversation. You guys remember? And we shared a lot of really intensity around that. And the other was, help me remember, the topic around, help me remember the name of the book, the Santa Cruz woman who had the drug addiction.
Mama Love.
Mama
The
Love.
Many
You guys remember
Lives.
that? And we had some
Yeah.
different opinions around that. And I remember I even checked in with one of the members, and I said, oh, I hope I wasn't too intense around what I was saying. And she's like, no, not at all. That I would, because we just had different ideas. It was around addiction and around our families. And, there was some intensity there. And she's like, no, not at all. I knew what you meant, but we were able to disagree and just have those different opinions, and then the next time we were like, let's just do a beach read. That's when we did the one that you were mentioning, Paula, that was more of that light. What I love is that we do different genres, and we do different topics, and
Absolutely,
on purpose,
yeah.
so that we're not only just in the deep stuff either. So it's
Right.
just
Yeah.
something for everyone. And that some of us say all the time too is like, I would never have done that genre, but then when we do it, we seem to enjoy it too. Like, oh, I opened my eyes to that, because I
Yes.
wouldn't have really gone there. So I just think it's so eye-opening too.
Yes.
So I just
right.
really appreciate that. It gives me more variety in what I read, because I get stuck in my own genre too.
Yeah.
Because I
yeah.
read some strange things myself, or whatever, my own thing, my own little box, which we might talk about later. But
Yeah. And
anyway.
what genres do you like? We've read historical fiction, we've read memoirs, we've read just pure entertainment, we've read factual books. What do you prefer genre-wise?
I'll let other people talk first.
Well, I've been a mystery buff for as long as I can remember. So, but it's important to me that it's well written, and that the characters have depth, and that I can relate to them. I'm not just any old mystery that has a mystery in it, if that makes sense, but something that makes me care about the people in the book.
Yeah.
And and the other thing I want to mention is that I come to this book club for connection more than anything. And so I started, with Sarah's permission, a little tradition of asking us a question at the beginning that is a little more intimate than sometimes we would in a normal book club.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember some of those questions. Maybe I won't answer them now.
Yeah, we love your questions, Paula. They're always so good. So I wanted to respond, Denise, when you said what our genre of books our favorites are. And historical fiction is definitely mine. I'd have to say my all-time favorite books, the Barbara Kingsolver's The Lacuna, which chronicles the fictional life of a young boy who ends up being an employee of Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera. And that he recounts the entire history from the French Revolution to, Chomsky. And so it's a fictional story, but based on historical fact. And then the murder of Chomsky actually occurs at their house. And then another favorite book, A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles, where he is an aristocratic count, Count Alexander Rostov. And he is relegated to the Metropole Luxury Hotel in lieu of being shot and killed for being an aristocrat during the times that the Russians were killing the aristocrats, because he had a friend, an in the oligarchy. They allowed him to live out his life there. And again, it chronicles a totally fictional life that he develops within the hotel, bonding with characters that come to visit frequently in the hotel or live there. But it also recounts the actual history as he's living there.
Yeah, that's a great book.
Combination.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Good author, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Sarah has a comment here.
Yes, I have to piggyback on Barbara Kingsolver. She's one of my favorite artists, and I love realistic fiction. So, Poisonwood Bible. I hope that wins.
Yeah, that's
soon.
good one.
But it's about a priest who travels to Africa with his family, and all of the things that they bring that they initially think are important and turn out to not be important at all. But I also love nonfiction. So The Extinction of Experience, about a kind of scary read, because it's all about the sort of evils of technology and AI and social media. That was a really exhilarating
and what it's doing to our brains.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. It was fascinating.
I also love historical fiction, and I use it as an inspiration for travel a lot, where I'll read a book and be so excited and interested in the story that I have to go there. So it's brought me to Greece. I think Circe was part of that. We read Circe, and it's about a goddess. It's about a Greek mythology. And it was so beautifully written and really gave you a sense of the Greek islands. So I went to the Greek islands because of that. So
Lucky you. They're
Nice.
beautiful, right?
Yeah,
No,
they're
lucky.
gorgeous.
But I'm always really inspired by historical fiction because you learn something. And also, like Paula said, it's really important that I love the characters, that I really like who I'm reading about. That's very important for me as well.
Right. So that was Jill. Here's Teresa. She has a comment.
So I don't think I've ever shared this with you all, but I love historical fiction, and I love anything with a psychological, bent to it. But I have a weakness also for anything with like witchcraft and ghostly, fantastical time travel type things. So whenever it's my time to choose a book again, I'm going to lay those on you guys, and you guys can experience. There's a few that I have in mind, so just wait, and
You're preparing us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
We're looking forward to that one.
That's really good to know. This is Paula. I wanted to say I'm not so shallow that I only like mysteries.
Now we see the other side of Paula.
I love books that are character driven, and whatever the genre really is, that's the most important thing to me. And there's an author, Amy Bloom. I don't know if any of us have talked about her,
Amy
but
Bloom, no.
she's just written a couple of books. One was about how her husband, who I think he was her second, possibly third, but she was very in love with him, and he chose to end his life. And that book is about that journey. And her writing is so poignant and deep and character driven and touching that it gets me past feeling sad. I don't know if that makes sense, but it is okay that I feel sad when I read it. And she writes incredible short stories that are also character driven in very unexpected ways. So I highly recommend Amy Bloom.
Okay. So while we're on that topic, who do you think in the club is the most likely to pick a book to make us cry? Who is the most likely? Can you?
Well, now that's a challenge.
Yes, it is. Would it be Paula?
Possibly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Do you
I
have
think.
someone in mind?
Well, I think maybe Paula.
Really? Well, so what makes you say that?
No, I just because you like as you just described, it was a very sad story. Right?
Yeah, I'm okay with sad stories as long as there's some depth to them. There's some meaning. It makes me. They make me think about my life, other people's lives, what people are going through, and I love books that are able to do that. And so that's why I think I'm saying they're character driven.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But how about what books you love? Like, what's a favorite book that you've read that you could recommend to our listeners?
That's kind of a hard one.
Yes, it's remembering the titles for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved a book once by Isaac Asimov, but I can't remember the title at all. But, you know, he's not an author that I would always read.
You made us turn our phones off so we can't look it up. There was one in that genre I was telling you about the time, and someone who keeps having to relive the day. It's like a beautiful, like, it's not like Groundhog Day, it's different. But it's a really beautiful book. But I'd have to look up the title to tell you guys. And
Yeah.
it's kind of that
How
magical.
about in our book club, what books have you enjoyed? Like, I loved The Personal Librarian. The Thursday Murder Club I thought was really fun. They're totally different. Extinction of Experience, Mama Love.
Yeah, The Personal Librarian was quite a surprise because it was a true story, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you want to tell us a little more on that, Denise? As you can remember the book.
Well, The Personal Librarian was about one woman who was black, but she was very light. And so she passed for a white woman and became, I believe it was the very wealthy financier Morgan, became his librarian.
J.P. Morgan, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a whole transformation that happened in the book of her, how she evolved from someone who didn't have a lot of self-confidence, but she had two very educated parents. She was very educated, but she hadn't come from great wealth. And then she got thrown into great wealth, and she learned how to dress. She learned how to act the part until she became quite magnificent. And it follows her evolution and how she just evolved into this amazing woman that
Yeah,
Morgan
she develops a great library, right, which is still there today.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and Morgan totally trusted her, and it was very interesting because they came so close to having an affair, and we kept waiting for that to happen.
It didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I remember at the very end in the notes that there was some commentary that they weren't sure that
that's
she
true.
hadn't had an affair with him.
That's true.
That she may have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no one knows for sure.
They couldn't
Those
prove it.
great little mysteries.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
again, back to Paula's mysteries.
Yeah.
That was one of those books where it had all of the components of fiction, and then you find out that it's true.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so surprising. I know. I loved it. Yeah. So, is there anything that's happened in the book club that has changed your opinion entirely on something? Can you think of anything at all that's happened? Sarah?
Just listening to how all of you like really can get into a book and read it, because I usually do audiobooks. And if I do audiobooks, I'm multitasking. And so my goal from now on is going to be to actually get the book and read it and write notes. And that's something.
So it's going to be much more of a study than,
Yes.
doing something else and listening to it. Kind of thing.
Revolutionary.
Yes.
Teacher
Yes.
That is the teacher in me.
Yeah.
Try new things, right?
Well, actually, we should mention that we most probably would not have known each other in normal life if we hadn't kind of joined together. Well, firstly, we all belong to a group called Meetup, and so the book club spun off Meetup. But we most probably, if we hadn't joined, would not have known each other in our regular walks of life. So why don't we talk a little bit about what we do, what we did, are we retired? Please.
Yeah, this
See.
is a very diverse group.
Yes, it's
yeah,
very
it's just,
diverse.
I think that's one thing that makes it so rich.
Yeah.
We have such diversity.
I am retired 3 years now, and one of my concerns when I retired is that I'm going to lose my social pool. You know, I became friends with my colleagues, still in touch with them too, but they're still working, most of them. And so joining Meetup has been, and I don't say this to be corny, but it's really life-changing for me because it has filled my days with wonderful events, and we come up, all of us, all of the members of our Meetup Women's Social Group, such variety of anything from journaling to art making to the book club to happy hour. And it's filled my days, and I've made good friends from this group as well.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I belong to the Ladies of Bonnie Doon Club. That's where I live, and I never had the opportunity to meet all the women that I live with because I worked all the time. And then I also volunteer 1 day a week at the animal shelter after losing my dog at 16 years old. Not ready to get another one, so I get my dog fixed doing that.
Yeah. That's great.
Those are the main things that keep me busy.
Yeah. Okay. And Paula. Los Angeles Paula.
Los Angeles, Paula. I've actually lived here in Santa Cruz far longer than I did in LA. Well, the question was,
How has
what-
the book club? Yeah, how has the book club?
No, her background.
Oh, our
Because,
background,
yeah,
right.
that's what we're saying.
Well,
is that we wouldn't
so-
have met each other
okay.
otherwise.
Yeah, I think actually a lot of our backgrounds seem quite similar. I just think for some reason we didn't encounter each other. Who knows why? Because there are a couple of us who were therapists. I was a therapist and social worker for many years, and then I opened a store. I opened a store in Santana Row,
Okay.
and did that for 15 years after starting in Los Gatos. So I might have even met you, Sarah. Who knows?
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, I went from therapy to fashion and back again.
Right. So it was a fashion store you opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art to wear mostly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We did, and I did a lot of it with my daughter, who started when she was 14 working and continued until she was managing the store 10 years later.
Right.
And that was an incredible experience.
Yeah. Well, it's such a challenge to set up a store.
It was the
Yeah.
challenge. I'm
Yeah.
sometimes amazed that I did that. It was an act of sheer jump into it risk.
Yes. Yeah. That was
Is
one
that-
of my old lives too. It was all centered around cats, though, not art.
I want to hear that one.
Yeah, and Paula's always a fashion statement. She's
You
always
think?
got nice,
Oh, God, I
nice
feel like a
clothes.
slob today.
No one can see you.
You look very fashionista.
Yeah.
So this is Teresa, and I started, my undergrad was I actually majored in English, actually poetry and writing, and art, and then somehow ended up I have an MBA. It was an all women's program, Simmons College in Boston, but it's
Okay.
organization development, and then I went into training and development and did a whole business thing, and I drove over the hill and worked for tech companies and different companies doing training and leadership development. I worked for tech companies and, Realtor.com, LinkedIn, all these tech companies. And then I drove over the hill 3 hours a day and burned out hard, and then did a career change to become a therapist, and graduated in 2020 and started doing my hours when COVID hit, fires hit, evacuations hit, and migraines hit, and you guys, it was really hard.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to be clear, over the hill is San Jose, for those not in the know, because
Yes.
this does go out on beyond the
yes,
local
of course.
community.
The twisty, turny, really hard commute that you sit in traffic a lot. So it was a lot. It was a lot. So anyway,
Silicon Valley.
I am an expressive arts therapist. So I've reclaimed my art and my creativity, and I do expressive arts journaling with a therapy called Internal Family Systems, which is parts work. And I'm not retired yet. I'm my mid 50s, so I'm still trying to create my own business doing that work, and I love it. So it's really I'm in a place where I finally feel like all my passions have come together.
Yeah,
So-
fabulous.
That's
Fabulous.
wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, quite an achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah.
Let's see. So going way, way back, I wanted to be a graphic designer, and I remember the art teacher. We all had to tape our art. We had to do a piece of stationery, and we had to tape our art to the wall. And 2 of these art critics would go and analyze each piece and critique it, and they did not like mine. And I was such a baby. I just started crying. Tears were spreading down my face. And so I know, I have tears right now. But it made me realize, in graphic design, you're always going to bump into people that don't like what you do.
Right, yeah, just expose
Life in general.
That's
exactly.
right.
Yeah, anything you put out into society,
Yes.
it's going to be knocked down by somebody. And I think we all get to know that as life goes
Right.
on,
And Susan, I wish that I had read Let Them way back then, because that truly is such a good book.
Yeah.
But then I became a teacher, and it was the best thing ever. I truly I'm getting paid to do this. It was for 25 years.
Yeah. You loved
in
it that much. That's
Los
great.
Gatos. I have so many stories.
Oh, would you like to share just one?
Well, I was called a fun sucker.
meaning you suck the fun out of it.
Yes. But I had to tell the child, really, you chose to be the fun sucker. You never mind.
Total opposite.
But
Absolutely. She's
Yeah,
she's
you
a big
do. You
party
bring the
girl.
fun.
What are you teaching?
I taught 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 1st grade, 4th grade.
Well, those little monsters.
I know, right? Oh, yeah.
High energy little monsters. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm retired now. I've been retired for a year, and my husband is retired. So living with someone 24/7, this group, especially the book club, is. And he embraces it. He loves all of you women. So it's been just the best thing ever coming over the hill.
Yeah. Because
That famous hill,
Back to the hill.
Santa Cruz to San
Los
Jose. Yeah.
Gatos to Santa Cruz, it works both ways, right? Okay.
So this is Jill. I'm a career therapist, and I've been in private practice for the last 15 years, and I love my work. I mean, I love it, and I love my clients, but you don't get to hang out with your clients.
No.
So I have found that being in private practice is really isolating. A lot of other therapists are introverts, so they don't have quite the same need. I'm an extrovert, so I really need people and want to be around others.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I love my work, that's been the biggest challenge for me, is the isolation. So this group has been wonderful.
Yeah, a good fix.
Yeah, it's been great just to meet all these wonderful women. And also the time, like as in private practice, my days sometimes are open, and a lot of my friends that work 9 to 5 are not available.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's great to meet people from doing all different work, and I can do a lunch date with somebody or go to brunch with someone.
Yeah.
And that's been really nice
Yeah.
as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Career therapy. So
cool.
what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so I'm a therapist, but I have extra training in career and college. So I have the same education as an MFT, but my focus is on helping people find out what they're really here to do.
MFT is?
Is marriage family therapy.
Ah, right. Okay.
So I have the same education as some of the therapists here, but as a career counselor, I focus on the career piece of someone's life. And I always say, you know, if you're miserable in your job, you're going to be miserable in your life. Like you can't separate those two.
Yeah. So you see, you and Sarah would never have met because she loved her job. So
Yes.
They grew up on the same street, so they might.
Yeah, so that's the other
Stop
strange
it.
thing. Sarah and I met, and we realized she mentioned Oakland. I said, "Oh, I grew up in Oakland," and she said, "Where?" And I said, "In Montclair." And she's like, "I grew up in Montclair." And I said, "I grew up on Thornhill Drive." And she said, "I grew up on Thornhill Drive." So we literally grew up on the same street.
wow. Is it a very long street?
Long enough.
Long enough that we didn't know each other until we moved to
'Cause
Santa
normally on the
Cruz.
street,
So
at least
amazing.
You recognize people, right? You never maybe speak to them, but you
It's a
know,
long,
know they
windy
live
street.
there kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's awesome.
So isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
That
that
it
is.
took coming to this group to meet each other after all these years.
Yeah. Now, Denise, you've never really told anybody on air what you used to do, so go ahead and tell us.
I used to do which incarnation?
Well, you know, as many as you like, really.
Well, I went to school. I got 2 engineering degrees. I worked in the corporate world for 10 years. Then I said, thank you very much. And then I started my own business. And I had that for about 18 years, at which time I met my husband-to-be. And I had always wanted to live in Santa Cruz. I always wanted to live by the beach. And he lived here. Mm-hmm. And so it was a good excuse to move, and I was ready to do something different.
So you came over the hill.
I came over the hill, and it's been awesome. I mean, this is a fabulous place to live. It's like
totally.
Paradise. It's
Yeah.
so nice. Yeah.
We all feel like we're in this blessed bubble, don't we?
Yes.
Because it is. It's just, you know, it's hard to duplicate. We've got everything. We have the ocean, we have the redwoods. Now, there's something about being in redwoods that's very therapeutic. And Denise's husband was on our first show, actually.
Yeah. He teaches forest bathing.
Yes, right.
He takes groups of doctors into the forest to do forest bathing, and he takes them to the beach to get grounded, makes them take their shoes off and get in the water. Yes, I don't know how he manages that, but he does.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was amazed, you ladies have not heard this, I believe, that Denise's first date with her husband was a really hot date. Do you want to say why it was a really hot date?
He talked me into going to his fire walk. And I walked over hot coals. It was unbelievable. Yeah, that was our first date. It was, what's that?
Was it a test to see if you
It might have been. I'm not sure.
It's commitment right there.
Well, it was just interesting.
Are you really?
Well, he got me there by saying, oh, you don't have to do anything. You can just watch. So I thought, oh, well, that'll be interesting to watch. But then you get there and you see everybody's doing it's not just walking over hot coals. He's got all kinds of other things to test you that are equal to the hot coals. Yes. And you see mothers and sons or daughters doing it, spouses doing it. I'm like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And so before long, I'm doing everything. It was like, oh my gosh. I had to go home afterwards. I said, I'll see you tomorrow. I had to go home and process it because it was so much. It's a powerful experience. Yeah. You face your fears.
Yeah.
It's all about facing your fears. Your body says, don't do it, don't do it. And then you go through that membrane of fear and you do it. And it's really exhilarating. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it myself. I think I'd be screaming in the other, and running in the opposite direction. Well, a little bit about myself, I suppose, is well, obviously from my accent, you might know that I wasn't raised in Santa Cruz, and I was actually raised in Wales. And I went to London as a model, and I also became, here it comes, a Playboy bunny.
And she's still really hot.
Thank you, Paula. But I then moved on to fashion production and married and lived all over the world. And then after 2 husbands, I divorced. And I then went into the film industry and opened my own film business of producing and directing. And that was in London. And then the pandemic happened and it changed everything for a lot of people, including myself. It was hard to get back into production. And that made the decision that I couldn't reach my family. And so it's time to leave. So where would I come but Santa Cruz, because my daughter lives here nearby in Scotts Valley. I have 2 sons too, and they're in Florida. But again, we have the bubble here. And it's hard to beat. So, yeah. So that's what happened. So now, if we were all to write a book together, let's kind of imagine this. If we were all to write a book together, what do you think it would be about? What would we call it?
Book club. Ladies of book club.
There would be a mystery involved.
Of course.
I don't know what it would be called. You guys are better at that than me, I think. But I think it would be about community, the power of community.
Mm-hmm.
I had years ago gone to, it was before the pandemic, I'd gone to a meetup, and it was over the hill somewhere. Mm-hmm. And it was for, I don't have kids, so it was like the focus was child free something. And unfortunately it was very negative. It was very like down on people with kids and very just negative. And the whole thing was about cutting down people with kids. And I was like, that's not what I really want. I want to have fun, and that's not what I want to focus on. So I was really turned off by the whole concept of like meetups. And I was just like, I was just put off by it. And I just didn't try for a long time again. And then the pandemic hit, and then finally just kind of convinced myself to try again, to reach out. And I'm so glad I did. And I found you guys, and I mean, during the pandemic and even a little bit after, I'm actually quite introverted, and I had chronic migraines too. And I just was like, really not making an effort to reach out. And then finally I was like, I really need to try to reach out and find community. And you guys know the statistics about isolation and just how it's so not good for us, and how our society is becoming more and more, there's so much loneliness and isolation, and just how important it is.
Yeah, they're actually proving it now that longevity has a lot to do with keeping yourself very social, keeping yourself outside, not sitting in, and movement in every direction.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it doesn't have to be that serious, but just maybe just kind of just, I don't know, about who we are and just the connections we've made, and I don't know, something around that. Just an idea throwing out there.
Yeah, that was Teresa.
Yeah, this is Paula. I want to echo that, because I'm one of the people who is unmarried, and this group, in some ways, I feel has saved my life. The connection has been so intense, and everybody's been so open and welcoming and fun and smart and wonderful to be with.
Right, yeah. We certainly don't lack laughter when we all get together, and that's for sure.
There's a lot of similarity. I mean, think of all the the people here who have either done therapy or are doing therapy as therapists, or teachers. I mean, we're all in helping professions, and I think that's really interesting.
That's a
Just
point.
thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, no, that's a
Yeah,
point.
it's also
Yeah.
diverse. We've got married, about half of the group is married, half are single.
Right.
We have different ages. Yeah, we've got an attorney. We've got we have a variety of occupations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Artists, therapists, another member. She's working in tech, and yeah, it's really fun.
Speech pathologist. I never did say what I did before I retired.
Oh,
right.
yes.
Yeah, you did.
That's Sue.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that then.
Well, I think Jill's going to say something. Can Jill maybe
Oh, Jill.
speak
Oh, yeah,
first, and
sure.
then we
Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just going to say maybe the title could be The Deep End of the Pacific, because we all live on the Pacific.
Ooh.
And I mean, what I love about this community is what we're all talking about. There's so much intelligence in this group, and that creates a depth that I think a lot of groups don't have. And that's what I love about it. We don't just get together to giggle about, frivolous things. Like, it goes really deep, and I feel like there's a lot of integrity and a lot of authenticity in this group of women. That's
this is
really
not
what I
a
appreciate.
gossipy group.
No, not at all.
Except Paula. Paula gets stalkers all the time following her around. I think if we were to write a book together, it should be called Women Gone Wild. And I think each chapter could be like, we take on a chapter and we name it after a wine, so we can kind of weave in wine, but then all the shenanigans that flavor of wine gets us into. And we have all, that's what's great about our book club too, is that we're not all so innocent.
Did we ever say we were?
We all have skeletons in the closet, and we feel safe to be able to share and laugh about it.
Absolutely.
Well, we've lived life.
Yeah. Well, I like the idea of wines, of a heading for each chapter. I think mine would be Clicquot Champagne. Ooh. Everybody have a think about what their chapter would be, but Sue first is going to tell us about her therapy.
Oh no, I can't top that with my, history after that, Sarah. But there is definitely a book to be written here, ladies. Maybe we should seriously consider it. Just to answer Denise's question earlier. So I was a speech language pathologist with deaf children, and I was recruited all the way from New Jersey, which is how I ended up here, because they were looking for a speech therapist fluent in sign language to come work at the School for the Deaf here over the hill in San Jose.
Thank you.
It was a destiny for you, really.
It definitely was. All things pointed to California, to Santa Cruz, to be here.
Yeah.
And this is where I was meant to be. It took me too long to get here, but better late than never.
Yes. I'm with you on that one, because as a child in the 60s, Santa Cruz and, San Francisco was the mecca to be, because that was where all the happy people were, and they all went around in their flower power, and they made songs about it, which used to be released over in England, and we used to dance to them. It was just like the mecca to be. So it took me a while to get here too, but I did.
And you cannot be in a bad mood here. They just won't allow it in Santa Cruz County. You can't bring that Jersey negativity into a CVS, because when they ask you, how are you? They really seem to genuinely care, and you want to answer positively.
Right, absolutely.
I just got back from the East Coast on a trip, and I for various reasons, and I drove from upstate New York to Massachusetts and just crossed the Massachusetts border, and a road rage incident happened like a second later.
Wow.
This guy, there's like a fire truck up here, and I was behind this truck, and I didn't see that, there was a roadblock, and I happened to pull up around this guy, and he just freaked out on me, and, it's just like, such a bad mood.
Yeah.
I won't go into it. I don't want to dwell on it, but I was like, you guys are in such a bad mood.
Yeah, what makes you so
Why are
upset
you
with
so
people?
angry?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I did register that with myself. I don't see road rage here. You don't see it. People are very accommodating and they give way to you.
You see it over the hill.
Over
but we
the
won't
hill.
go there.
Yeah.
We're talking the bubble here. We're talking
Yeah.
bubble.
Well, and this is a vacation town,
Yeah.
and we've got the ocean, we have the forest, we've got boardwalk, we've got. I mean, it's a fun place.
We're lucky. We're
Yeah.
grateful
Yeah.
that we live.
Yeah.
And if you want to go somewhere beautiful, you just got to drive the coast. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I think that has a lot to do with it, having come from the East Coast myself. It's, you get cranky, grumpy if it's hot and humid or bone-chilling cold. Here, the weather's so beautiful, you can't help but be in a good mood.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I know. So let's quickly run around what our chapter would be on wine, and then we're going to have to close. It's been so much fun. But let's go around and name a chapter. Jill.
My chapter would be Pinot Noir.
Hold on a sec.
Oh, the mic's traveling. Traveling mic.
Yeah. Traveling Mike. That's a good name for something.
I guess my chapter would be called Pinot Noir.
Uh-huh.
It's my favorite wine.
Right.
I don't know why else.
Do you have a particular brand?
Gosh, I don't.
Okay.
No,
Anyway,
I don't drink
Pinot
enough
Noir.
wine.
We got that. Okay, Sarah, what's yours?
Mine would be called Sangiovese.
Ooh.
Yes.
Italian, right?
Yes, our adventure would be in Italy.
Oh,
That's right.
well, I can tell you about that.
Yeah, you can.
But that's another time.
Our in-house wine expert over here. Mine would be, I have to check the brand, but some kind of Prosecco.
Yes. Sparkling.
It's bubbly, sparkly.
Yes.
Well, this is Paula, and I'm one of the weirdos who rarely drinks. But last night I actually had a glass of wine, and it was a sparkling rosé, a Prosecco, basically.
Right. Yeah, we're kind of sparkling people, aren't we? So
We
it's
are so
drinks.
sparkling.
We have so many chapters to be sparkling. Okay.
It says so much that each of us picked a different wine. Wow, see how varied we are. And I would pick Cabernet Sauvignon, and I don't have a favorite brand.
Well, that's it. And what else can I say? We've gone through our book club. We all love it. And we're so happy to have had you all here today. Thanks so much for coming.
Yes, this has been really a blast. This has been so great.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ladies.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it now.
And thanks to you, our listeners, for joining us and listening to our podcast. We appreciate you. Until then, it's Denise
And Susan
signing off.
Ciao,
Ciao, ciao, ciao.